My original plan was to release the Steven Assanti video on Halloween. That way I could remark how it was the 1-year anniversary of my most viewed video, with an asterisk, and tease the video I wanted to make for the holidays, a sequel to that very video. Though I did spoil it at the end of the 600 Pound Life video, all cause Premiere kept shitting itself whenever I tried to render all black. I had no choice but to add something to the last frame. Anyway, November has officially started, and I'm only halfway done with the rough notes for Assanti Episode 1. I'd be lucky to get it out by the end of the year at this rate. And keep in mind, I'm also going to college, so I have to account for that too. I have a 3,000 word essay I have to do, for God's sake. I've hinted towards my recent thoughts in posts and live streams, but you probably don't pay attention to those, statistically speaking. Long story short, some stuff happened with two friends. They were basically the only people that I was talking to, and once they left me, I fell into a deep depression. I did not even want to get out of bed, much less work on the video. My dreams were preferable to my current situation, so some days I would just sleep in for the whole 24 hours. This recent emotional journey has made me ask myself, do I still enjoy YouTube? And the answer leans towards no. I do change my mind all the time and have a horrible habit of jumping to conclusions early, so take it with a grain of salt. Since around late 2022, most if not all of my life has been grinding YouTube. Growing up on the autism spectrum, I was the weird kid who was picked last for everything. It was hard to make friends, and when I did, they were busy with sports and clubs, which I did not do. I just wanted to stay home and play video games, so it was hard to hang out with them outside of school. I was basically on autopilot for the last 2 years of high school. I had no faith that things would get better, and I just wanted to start over at college. But right as I was about to, the pandemic hit, which made things more complicated, though I doubt it'd make a difference either way. It's tough being lonely, but I've kept trudging along for one reason. Ever since I was a kid, I've fantasized about creating something grand and epic. The ideas have shifted constantly, from video games to movies to TV shows. I'm a very ambitious person. I was hell-bent on becoming a filmmaker. It was my major starting out in college, but the program there was just not to my liking, so I switched to marketing. I also have a fascination with the business side of things. Then I realized there was something that combined both of these things: YouTube. I have a very long history with YouTube, going back to when I was like 5 or 6. It's genuinely scary that in my life, I've probably spent more time on YouTube than off it. I've had several channels over the years, but I've only really treated it as a hobby. That was no different for this channel starting out, until I listened to some podcast interviews with Mr. Beast, and realized just how much untapped potential was in YouTube. That was when I shifted into maximum overdrive. I didn't need to fit in socially. I could take over the world. I began studying what made videos go viral. I uploaded all kinds of videos to see what stuck. I even skipped 1.5 semesters of college to grind more, which did put my grades in jeopardy for a bit, and I'll be the first to admit, my main goal was money. I mainly wanted to raise funds so I could work on stuff I'm passionate about, like game reviews. I did make some money, but not quite enough to do it full time. Still, I was destined to work my way up there. That was until the aforementioned depressive episode hit. All that drive, all that motivation, just disappeared. I became envious of normal people with actual social lives. I started to rethink my priorities. Devoting my entire existence to YouTube is no way to live. I decided to reconnect with some old high school friends, and it felt good to have people to hang out with IRL again. I feel like I've awoken from a coma. I want to live life now, which is why I'm looking into partially outsourcing the work. What I mean by partially is, for writing, I will hire someone to research the topic, take notes, and write the rough draft only. Then I will go through it and try to spice it up to make it more Thunder Eagle. Same goes for editing. I think this is a pretty good compromise. Thing is, I'm a bit tight financially at the moment, so I'll have to wait for my situation to stabilize before I can do so. Maybe before that I'll get the spark to finish the Asanti video myself, but don't get your hopes up. Also, expect to see a few recycled videos in the coming weeks. The YouTube algorithm is a cruel mistress. As unfortunate as it is, you can't go all in on quality over quantity, so I might as well milk my current catalog for what it's worth. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. Take care.